Hi, Otto here for Bavarian Autosport. In today's video, we're going to be installing the Powerflex urethane bushings in the rear suspension of a BMW E30 3 Series chassis. Now these parts are from our advisor Ken's 89325IS. He has all of the parts removed and nicely detailed, and we're going to be installing the subframe bushings, the trailing arm bushings. These particular ones are camber adjustable, so we can take care of excess camber from lowering the car, as well as the differential mount. Now these bushings, as well as all of the Powerflex bushings for your BMW or Mini model, are available in our online website at bavauto.com. Now let's get going and see how easy this is. Now here we have the subframe assembly. We're looking at the outer end of the subframe at the bushing. The original bushing has already been removed. This can be done using a bushing remover tool or other alternate means. Now we do have the whole thing out of the vehicle because we were detailing it, painting it, as well as installing the bushings. But this can be done in the vehicle as long as you get the original bushing out first. Now once the bushing is out, we clean the interior, and then we'll lubricate lightly the interior. We're using the Liqui-Moly copper anti-seize compound, which is the same as the Powerflex compound included. We like to add a little bit more than just what comes with the kit. So we'll get some of this inside the bore, and we don't need a big heavy layer, just a coating around the bore. And once we have that, we'll also put a coating on the bushing. And we have found that the copper anti-seize works best with urethane bushings as far as preventing squeaks in the future. We've used all kinds of silicone lubricants as well as others, and the copper has always worked the best. And a little bit down on the flange here. This is a little bit messy. Notice we're wearing the safe grip gloves. I'm going to set that down, wipe my hands a little bit. Note the slots in the bushing. There are alignment tabs in the carrier. Go ahead, install the bushing, and we'll push the bushing all the way up till it meets the bottom of the carrier. Now you can see we tapped the bushing into place. We just used a mallet and tapped it fully up into seat. Now we have the upper piece which fits here before it goes into the vehicle. And again, we'll lubricate the inside of this where it touches the carrier as well as the bushing. There we go. And fit it here. Now finally we have the through sleeve. This is where the bolt goes through. Again, we'll put some lubrication in the hole. And a little from the other side as well. A little bit on the sleeve itself. And we fit the sleeve down through the hole. And this may take a little bit of work with the mallet as well. If you're working on the car, you would do this from below. There we go. And we'll just tap that home. Now at this point, this side is ready to install. When we put it in the vehicle, we'll make sure we have lubrication up top where it's going to contact the underside. And the brace that goes on the bottom, we'll put some more of the anti-seize on the bottom, so the brace that comes to the bottom will also be lubricated. This reuses the original through bolt and nut for fastening it to the vehicle. This is ready to go. We do the other side, and then the cross member is ready to go in. Okay, now we're going to install the trailing arm bushings. Note that these bushings have an offset center sleeve, and this spanner wrench is used to turn the sleeve. This allows camber adjustment as well as toe adjustment by moving the locating points of the two bushings within the trailing arm by turning this around. So we're allowed to adjust our camber as well as our toe. Now installation is easy. The bushings just fit into the arm and the sleeve goes in the center. You'll notice again the original bushings are already removed. On this earlier style, the easiest way to remove them is cut off the mushroomed rubber head on one side of the bushing and press it through the other side, and they'll come out fairly easily. This can be done on the vehicle, just like the subframe ones. In fact, easier than the subframe. Just dismount, pull them down out of the subframe mounts, remove the bushings, and put the new ones in. So as with the subframe, the first thing we'll do is place some lubrication with the copper anti-seize. All the way around the eyelet and on each bushing. Now these bushings are different size. This one has a thicker flange that goes on the inside, and that's detailed in the instructions. And if these don't fully push in by hand, a slight tap with a mallet will seat them in. Remember to get it on the flange as well. And now we're ready for the sleeve. Again, we'll get plenty of lubrication through the bore. If you can't get your finger fully in the bore, a nice tool is actually a toothbrush, an old toothbrush. But the bores on these are serrated to hold extra lubricant. So get as much in there as you can. And finally, we'll lubricate the sleeve as well. Now this goes on the outside, goes in from the outside. Lubricate the face and the face of the bushing, and take the load washer, slide it on, make sure that's lubricated as well. We've got plenty here just on our gloves. And slide that into place from the outside. And again, you may need to strike it gently with a mallet. Okay, now we'll just tap this home and put this bushing back in. Now, two opposing mallets will get this nice and tight together, and then this is ready to go back up into the bracket on the subframe and uses the original through bolt and nut to secure it in place. We'll do the other arm here in the same way. The thicker bushing on the inside, thinner bushing on the outside. The camber adjuster sleeve goes in from the outside along with the washer, and then the whole thing just goes back up into the brackets on the trailing arm. All right, now finally, for the rear installation of the Powerflex bushings, we have our differential cover and the differential mount bushings. Now again, as with the rest, this can easily be done in the vehicle once the original bushing is pressed out. You can also remove the cover from the differential with the differential still in the vehicle and do this at your bench if you prefer, like detailing this one and pressing the bushing out. But again, this can still be done in the vehicle. So similar to the rest, we're going to use our anti-seize compound And again, copper, not aluminum. Lubricate the bore. Lubricate each half of the bushing. And on this one, since the bushings face each other, we're going to lubricate the face as well. And I'm going to lubricate the bore while I'm here. The whole thing, and then fit it into place. Just presses right in. There. And this half. Take the bore. We already have lubricant on the other half on the face, so I don't need to put much here. I'll just spread a little around. And goes in from the other side. I'm going to wipe my hands. And fit this half in from the back side. Now that we have the bushings in, we'll put the sleeve in, same thing. Lubricate the sleeve. Now remember, we already lubricated the bore. If you want to stick your finger in there with a little more lubricant, that's certainly not going to hurt. Put the sleeve in place. This may take a mallet to tap into place. This one is going to. We'll get that started. Okay, now we'll tap the center sleeve into place with our mallet. And finally, before the final installation, we have these large load washers which go here and on the other side. We'll lubricate the face with the anti-seize compound, put the washer in, do the same thing on the other side. And this uses the original through bolt from the original bushing to install it into the chassis bracket. With that, this installation is all done. Remember, we have all of the Powerflex bushings in our online store at bavauto.com. And if you've liked this video, please hit your like button and send us some comments. And you can like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And don't forget to check out our tech blog at blog.bavauto.com. Now that's it. We're going to put the rest of this together on the vehicle, and then we're going to produce our next video for you.